I have been eating quite a lot of satay on this trip and I have noticed that it can be slightly sweet, so I'm going to give you my rendition. First up, we need to make a marinade for the beef. Now, you can do this with chicken, so here 50-50, you get beef and chicken. So I've got some coriander seeds, we'll pop that into a bowl, along with some turmeric and some ground cumin. To that, I am going to add a little of the sugar for some sweetness. Not only that, I do want the satay sticks to caramelise on the barbecue. So a pinch of sugar. Next, a little bit of soy sauce. And we don't want this to be a really wet marinade. It should be quite dry, so just a splash of that soy sauce. A little oil to bring it together. And a key ingredient is lemongrass. And you can chop it, or if you've got a fine grater like I do, you can mince it, just so we don't have big chunks, nice and fine. And I just love that lemony, balmy flavour of lemongrass, so give it a good hit of that. And whenever you're using lemongrass, you don't want to use the woody part up here, keep that for stock. Down here is where it's all at, so you want that tender part of the shoot. All right, happy with that. Give that a little mix. And you can see it's quite a small amount of the marinade, but it's just to lightly coat the meat. Like I said, I'm using beef. You could use some rump and just thinly slice it like I have into strips. So in that goes. And then with our spoon, we're going to give that a really good mix, coat it all. Oh, and already, you know this is going to be good because it smells sensational. Right, we'll allow that to marinate for a moment while we get on to our peanut sauce. So in a small pot, I'll add some veggie oil, about a tablespoon or so. And then in with some classic, so some onion that's been finely chopped. We'll fry that until it's softened, along with some garlic. And I'm just going to give that a good stir. Right, we'll just allow that to sweat off. And peanuts. So this is the main ingredient in the peanut sauce. And I've toasted and crushed them in a mortar and pestle. You can see there's two textures there. It's slightly fine and then some of the chunky parts. This makes an okay satay sauce into something fantastic because of the textures of those peanuts. So we can add that now to our pot. And I'll just grab a wooden spoon and give that a mix. Oh, it smells nice. Okay, next ingredient is this wonderful thing. It is pungent. Ooh, it is intense, but it's a crucial part of a gorgeous satay sauce. So it's belachen, which is a shrimp paste, and you only need a small amount of it to make a difference. So just use a spoon just to break some off. You'll see it's slightly crumbly. We'll add that, a little more, and just break that up slightly. Next, we need a sour component, and we get that sour component from tamarind paste. So a good spoonful of tamarind paste for a little hint of spice, chili powder. Give that a really good stir, toast it off, and you can see it's a lovely deep colour. I like this caramelised colour on it because it gives it more of an intense flavour. We'll just water it down slightly, so a splash of water. And then finally, coconut milk. So about 270 mils of that coconut milk. I like quite a lot of it. And now we just allow it to bubble away until it thickens. And in the meantime, I'm going to make my skewers. I'm in Kuching, Malaysia, cooking up a local favourite, beef satay. All right, for the fun part, which is grilling these gorgeous skewers, and I've made myself a makeshift barbecue. It's piping hot. You can see the coals are really white. And when that's really hot, we're going to add the skewers. Oh, hear that sound? We want that sizzle because we know they're going to get caramelised on the outside. We don't want to overcook them either to keep that meat nice and tender. I'll add a few more here. Oh, love it. While that's cooking, I want to finish off the sauce so you can see how thick this sauce is. It's cooked down nicely. We need to balance it with some sweetness and some saltiness. So I add a good pinch of sugar, and more than I usually would in Australia, because here I've noticed the satay sauce is quite sweet. So a good amount of that, and just a splash of light soy. Done. Stir that in, and because that's still really hot, that sugar's going to melt. Okay, some condiments to go with our skewers. Cucumber. Cucumber is served quite a lot on the side of a lot of dishes here. We're just going to cut it on an angle. It's refreshing and it's crunchy, and in this hot weather, these are the vegetables that I crave too. Pop that to the side, along with some onions for some tang, and I'm not going to cut them up. We're just going to take the petals away. The whole idea is to dip the skewer into the satay sauce, have a little munch on cucumber and onion afterward. It all works in harmony together. And the last thing, some lime. Now, don't be fooled of the size. It's tiny, but there is loads of juice in these Malaysian limes. So I'm just going to cut the top off, and the whole idea is just to squeeze that over the satay once they're cooked. All right, let's turn the skewers. Oh yes, that's what we're after. See how it's caramelized and crispy? I love that when you're cooking on an open coal barbecue just like this. Turn these. These will only take a few moments on this side. That one there, just right. In this bowl, on the side, we'll add our satay sauce for dipping. Pour that in. Fantastic. And we'll place our cucumbers, onion petals onto a plate. Look how pretty that looks. Love it. And now for our skewers. They're perfectly cooked. We'll just place them onto the plate, just mound them up. And usually I would say rest your meat before eating it, but because they're small little pieces of meat and it's just come off the charcoal, you want to eat it straight away. And I'm going to dip it in the sauce. Charcoal meat, satay sauce, that's sweet, sour, crunchy. This is Malaysian cooking at its best.